The NBA offseason is always full of speculation, but this year, one name keeps popping up in the headlines for the Golden State Warriors: Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat. Reports from Brett Siegel of Clutch Points suggest that if Adebayo ever requests a trade, the Warriors would be among the top teams interested in acquiring him. Why is Bam so intriguing to Golden State? His skill set mirrors that of Draymond Green but with an added scoring punch. He is a three-time All-Star with a versatile defensive game, capable of guarding multiple positions and anchoring the paint. Offensively, he can create his own shot, pass effectively, and stretch the floor. In short, he is the kind of player who could transform Golden State's championship window from great to nearly unstoppable. For fans, the idea of Bam joining the Warriors conjures exciting scenarios: Curry driving and kicking out to Adebayo spotting up for a mid-range jumper, or Green and Adebayo forming a defensive tandem that could shut down almost any opponent. Even though a trade is purely speculative, the prospect alone changes the narrative around Golden State's strategy this season. Last season, Bam averaged 18.1 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 4.3 assists per game, showcasing both scoring and playmaking. His ability to contribute across multiple statistical categories makes him unique among big men in today's NBA. If he were to join the Warriors, the team would essentially be adding a secondary playmaker. Imagine the floor spacing with Curry on the perimeter, Seth Curry or Klay Thompson spotting up, and Bam rotating as both a defensive anchor and a facilitator. This would allow Stephen Curry to focus more on scoring while maintaining offensive flow. Defensively, Bam's presence would mean strong rim protection, ability to switch onto guards in pick-and-roll situations, more freedom for Green to act as a defense general elsewhere on the floor. In short, Bam would bring balance to a team that has previously struggled when opponents target the paint or exploit mismatches. His skill set perfectly complements Golden State's existing stars and could fill gaps left by previous seasons. Acquiring Bam Adebayo would not just be a personnel upgrade, it would be a strategic shift. The Warriors would become more versatile defensively, capable of running multiple small ball and traditional lineups, less reliant on Draymond Green to cover every defensive mismatch. From a coaching perspective, Steve Kerr would gain new flexibility. With Bam on the floor, Kerr could play faster in transition without sacrificing rim protection, use off-ball movement more effectively with Curry and the shooting guards, mix in heavier lineups against dominant centers in the West. This trade, however, raises questions. Would Golden State have to give up draft picks, young talent, or rotation players? Could the team chemistry adapt quickly enough to integrate Bam's style without disrupting the existing core of Curry, Green? Social media has been ablaze with speculation. Warriors fans are dreaming about a potential super trio of Curry, Butler, and Adebayo, while Heat fans worry about losing a cornerstone player. Pundits have weighed in on ESPN, NBA TV, and multiple podcasts, discussing how Bam's defensive versatility could change Golden State's playoff outlook, whether Adebayo would fit in the Warriors' fast-paced offense, potential matchups against Western Conference rivals like the Lakers, Clippers, and Nuggets. The media angle also adds pressure to the front office. Every comment from Steve Kerr, Bob Myers, or team insiders is scrutinized for hints about trade possibilities. For the Warriors, the mere presence of trade rumors can impact fan expectations and ticket sales. Let's imagine Bam Adebayo joins Golden State. What changes immediately? Offense. Curry gains a high IQ big man who can initiate offense from the post. Floor spacing improves with Adebayo capable of shooting mid-range jumpers. Playmaking becomes more diversified. Defense. Bam teams up with Green to anchor the paint. Switch-heavy defense becomes even more effective. Opponents find fewer mismatches in transition. Team chemistry. Integrating Bam's personality and play style with Butler, Curry, and Green will be crucial. Communication on rotations and defensive assignments must be seamless. Veteran leadership from Horford and Payton too help stabilize adjustments. Long-term outlook. The Warriors become immediate title contenders. Adebayo's presence opens options for future trades or roster moves. contract management and salary cap considerations will influence next offseason moves. While a trade remains speculative, Golden State's interest in Bam Adebayo signals that the franchise is serious about maintaining championship contention. The Warriors have always been strategic in their moves, targeting players who fit the system rather than just big names. Whether or not the trade happens, these rumors highlight the Warriors' commitment to improvement. Keep fans engaged and excited for the season. Set the stage for a possible historic roster configuration. For now, Warriors fans will continue to follow updates closely, eagerly anticipating news from the front office, while analysts dissect every possible scenario. If Bam Adebayo does join the team, Golden State could very well redefine their path to another NBA championship. The Golden State Warriors are entering the 2025-26 NBA season with a fresh sense of optimism, a blend of excitement, and of course, some uncertainty. After an offseason filled with questions, from Jonathan Kuminga's contract situation to the never-ending chatter about the team's aging core, the front office finally made its moves. And now, we have the new pieces in place: Seth Curry, Al Horford, and Anthony Melton. This is not just about filling roster spots. It's about giving Steve Kerr the tools to keep this team competitive in a brutal Western Conference. The Warriors' championship window has not yet shut, but it is clearly narrowing. And so, every move matters. Today, we dive deep into the pros, the cons, the risks, and the potential rewards of these new additions, and what they mean for the Warriors' pursuit of another championship run. Golden State walked into this summer knowing that flexibility would be key. Mike Dunleavy Jr., now firmly in charge of the front office, had to juggle multiple priorities: settle the Kuminga matter, build around the 9 players already under contract, and fill in the gaps with veterans who could immediately contribute. It took time. Negotiations dragged on. Fans grew restless. But finally, on the eve of training camp, the Warriors locked in their choices: Seth Curry, Al Horford, and Anthony Melton. Alongside returning pieces like Gary Payton II and Kuminga, the Warriors believe they have assembled a squad ready to contend. But does the roster truly put them on par with Western Conference powerhouses like Oklahoma City, Denver, and Minnesota? Let's start with Seth Curry. The younger brother of Stephen Curry comes to Golden State with a very clear purpose: shooting. And not just ordinary shooting, elite, high-percentage, playoff-proven shooting. Seth has made a career of stretching defenses, punishing second units, and knocking down threes at a clip very few in NBA history can match. Seth is a career 43.3% three-point shooter, ranking second among active players. Last season, he led the NBA with a stunning 45.6% from deep. In the playoffs, his efficiency remains strong, hovering around 46.8%. This is not just consistency, it's deadly precision. For a team that thrives on spacing, Seth provides Kerr with lineup combinations that can terrify defenses. Imagine lineups where Steph, Seth, and Brandon Podziemski share the floor. Defenders would be pulled in every direction. But let's be honest, defense has never been Seth's strong suit. Opponents often target him in pick and rolls. His size and athletic limitations make him a liability on that end. The question will always be, can the Warriors hide him enough defensively to maximize his shooting impact? This is a smart move. It's low cost, low risk, and high value. Shooting remains the most important currency in the NBA, and adding another Curry to the mix feels almost poetic. Fans get the family reunion, and the team gets depth and spacing. Next, we turn to Al Horford, the 39-year-old big man who has built a Hall of Fame-worthy career through intelligence, professionalism, and adaptability. Horford brings championship-level experience and leadership. He's the perfect complement to the Warriors' leadership council of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler. More importantly, his shooting ability as a big man adds much-needed spacing. At 37.7% from three over his career, Horford can stand in the corner or pick and pop to stretch defenses, freeing up Curry and Butler. His playoff resume is unmatched on this roster, more postseason minutes than anyone in Golden State's locker room. Steve Kerr has long wanted a floor-spacing big, and Horford fills that role better than anyone since the days of Otto Porter Jr. Age is the big concern. At 39, Horford will inevitably miss games, even if healthy. The team expects him to sit out 12 to 15 nights for load management. He's not the same defender he once was, though he remains solid in the right schemes. At this stage, the Warriors will lean on Dr. Rick Celebrini's medical staff to carefully manage his body. A wise, calculated risk. On a one-year, $5.7 million deal, the value is outstanding. Horford isn't here to be a star. He's here to provide 24 to 28 minutes of steady, playoff-tested basketball. If he holds up, his presence could be the difference in a tough playoff series. Finally, we have D'Anthony Melton, perhaps the most intriguing of the three signings. Melton is a prototypical modern guard, versatile, defensive-minded, and capable of hitting the three. Before tearing his ACL last season, he briefly earned the starting backcourt spot alongside Steph Curry. His ability to pressure the ball, switch across positions, and hit open shots makes him a natural fit in Golden State's system. If healthy, Melton could easily reclaim a starting role. Health, and health. The ACL tear ended his 2024 season, and he has a history of nagging back issues. This is where the Warriors' elite training staff comes into play once again. If Melton struggles physically, the gamble might not pay off. A very good move with a potentially great payoff. The Warriors know Melton well, they know his work ethic, and they believe in his fit with their culture. If he can give them 65 to 70 games, this signing might be remembered as a steal. So, what do these moves mean for the Warriors' championship hopes? Flexibility and veteran savvy. Compared to last season, this roster is stronger. Seth Curry gives them shooting. The story of basketball has always been filled with family connections, legacies passed from one generation to the next, and names that carry more than just talent, they carry history. Few names embody that legacy more than Curry. When you hear the word Curry, in the basketball world, the first thought is Stephen Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, the four-time NBA champion, the man who changed basketball forever. But tonight, the story takes a beautiful twist. The Golden State Warriors have signed Seth Curry, Steph's younger brother, creating what many fans are calling a family reunion in the Bay Area. After years of battling against each other, of comparisons, of two brothers carving their own paths in the NBA, they now share not just a last name, not just a bloodline, but the same jersey, the same goal, and the same mission. This is more than a signing. This is history in the making. Steph Curry's story is well known. Drafted by the Warriors in 2009, a scrawny guard from Davidson University who many believed was too small, too fragile, and too limited to succeed in the NBA. 16 years later, he stands as one of the greatest players in the history of the game. 4 championships, 2 MVPs, including the first unanimous MVP in NBA history, countless broken records, and a style of play that revolutionized how basketball is played. He stretched the floor, turned the three-point shot into the game's deadliest weapon, and inspired a generation of players who grew up trying to shoot like Steph. He has always been a warrior. Through injuries, through dynasty runs, through rebuilding, Steph's loyalty never wavered. Golden State is his home. But what about Seth? His story is one of perseverance. Unlike Steph, Seth was not a lottery pick. He went undrafted in 2013, bouncing around the G League, fighting for roster spots, proving himself through short contracts and small opportunities. Over time, Seth carved out a reputation as one of the most reliable shooters in the league. A career 43% shooter from three-point range, Seth has become the kind of player every contender wants on their roster: a floor spacer, a knockdown shooter, and a steady veteran presence. He has played for 9 NBA teams: Dallas, Portland, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Charlotte, and more, always contributing, always proving his worth. And now, in his 35th year, he finally gets the chance to wear the same jersey as his brother, fulfilling what many fans have dreamed of for over a decade. Social media has been ablaze with speculation. Warriors fans are dreaming about a potential super trio of Curry, Butler, and Adebayo, while Heat fans worry about losing a cornerstone player. Pundits have weighed in on ESPN, NBA TV, and multiple podcasts, discussing how Bam's defensive versatility could change Golden State's playoff outlook, whether Adebayo would fit in the Warriors' fast-paced offense, potential matchups against Western Conference rivals like the Lakers, Clippers, and Nuggets. The media angle also adds pressure to the front office. Every comment from Steve Kerr, Bob Myers, or team insiders is scrutinized for hints about trade possibilities. For the Warriors, the mere presence of trade rumors can impact fan expectations and ticket sales. Let's imagine Bam Adebayo joins Golden State. What changes immediately? Offense. Curry gains a high-IQ big man who can initiate offense from the post. Floor spacing improves with Adebayo capable of shooting mid-range jumpers. Playmaking becomes more diversified. Defense. Bam teams up with Green to anchor the paint. Switch-heavy defense becomes even more effective. Opponents find fewer mismatches in transition. Team chemistry. Integrating Bam's personality and play style with Butler, Curry, and Green will be crucial. Communication on rotations and defensive assignments must be seamless. Veteran leadership from Horford and Payton too helps stabilize